Hello, welcome to another CentreStack tutorial. Today's is on version control in CentreStack. So in order to get started, I'm going to log in as a cluster administrator in CentreStack, and I think I'll make a new tenant. So once I've set up my tenant account, we'll call this one Jane's Photography. Now notice these settings before I hit continue. A lot of control here, but in this one you have force all folders except root to be versioned. It's very important, and that versioning is shared by not only the tenant but the users of that tenant as well. I'll take a moment to set up a password for this so that I can log in as the tenant. I don't need to send an email because this is just a test. Okay, so now I think I'll log out and log back in as the tenant, the administrator for that account. Here I am, brand new tenant setup. Here I am looking at my folders in the file browser. So I'm going to go into pictures, and I've got some photos that I want to share. So I'll grab those and I'll drag them over, and here they are. In order to demonstrate the versioning capability, I'm going to grab a few of those photos again. As you can see, it's warning me that I'm about to update or replace an existing file, so I accept those warnings. And now I'm going to change my view so that I can see the detailed list. And as you can see, each of these has a V2 next to it, which shows there are two versions. Now if I delete one of these versions or one of these files, I can show deleted, and there it is. And then I can restore that. And as you can see, when I go back into the version list, I get both of my versions, which is great. So even deleting them doesn't kill the version control capability of this application. Now what if I go one step farther? I go up a level and I just delete the entire folder with all the files and all the file versions. Well, if I restore that folder, I also restore all of the versions of the files in that folder. So as you can see, that's a lot of control, and it can really save you if you've made some dramatic mistakes in deleting your files. You can get them back. Let's talk about group policy and retention policy. For this tenant, I can control how many versions of these files that I will keep in the versioned folder. I could set it to 100 or 1,000 or 5. And this gives me a lot of control over how much memory I'm using in my tenant settings. So I don't want to run out of space. I can control the number of versions here in these settings and then control how much space I'm using. So that pretty much takes care of version control in CentreStack. Hopefully this was helpful. If you think it would be helpful for someone else, please share it, like it, and click that alarm bell so that you can see when we upload new tutorials.